cheers to you guys. Happy Monday. Cutest cup ever, right? I think, and I will link up to this below. And this is also, everybody always asks me where I get these fun coffee mugs because they do give me quite amount of joy. A good amount of joy, that is, as well as the t-shirt thing going on. I have links to all of my, or I'm building it every week, all of my shopportunities. Thank you, Letitia, for that word that I now use all the time on my Mr. Owl page. So if you go to mrowl.com and look up Kelly Alexa, there's a whole board branch with my shopportunities and a lot of places that I order these fun mugs. I think this is from Breezy Clothing Company, which is a really fun company. So anyway, cheers to you. Get you one of these. Happy Monday. How's everybody doing? How was your Mother's Day? Did you have a great weekend? It is Monday at 8 o'clock. I have been up since 5:15. How about you? Yeah, 5:15, and I'm like this naturally, although this does have some caffeine in it. So cheers to you. Here's the deal. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As I've been referencing, and maybe I should reference messy hair, don't care. I kind of care because I'm fixing it, but y'all are used to that. So, by the way, if you are here and you're here live, also, heck, if you're not here live, if you're watching this on the replay, leave a comment down below. Introduce yourself. Let us know where you're from. We'd love to see who is starting to tune in. We are going to be doing just an obscene amount of Facebook Live stuff coming up. And don't worry, it's not just going to be me, because ain't nobody got time to tune into nothing but Kelly Alexa. That would be boring. We've got a ton of our amazing FitFluential ambassadors, folks that have been on our podcast that are going to be joining. And we want to hear from you. Again, I will always say this. Let us know in the comments. Write to us at FitFluential.com. Let us know what you want to hear about. Is it running? Is it yoga? Is it meditation? Mindfulness? Is it decreasing stress? Better sleep? These are all things we're going to be covering, but what do you want to hear the most? What do you struggle with the most? Also, total side note, I just have to share. Can everybody see? I'm all about the printed leggings lately, and I just had to share. I think these are from Danskin, which has been a client of FitFluential, so full disclosure. But I am just absolutely loving printed pants. So here's the deal. What am I going to focus on today? It's Monday. It's Monday. We all get to Monday. I have a real soft spot for people that are working in the corporate environment. I come from the corporate environment. I was in corporate sales for 15, 18 years before I founded FitFluential. And I know what it's like, whether you are in corporate America or not in corporate America. Say you work from home, say you're an entrepreneur, whatever. But I'm gonna direct a little bit of this Monday motivation coffee talk towards folks that are in the corporate world, right? Maybe you're watching this at the office, you've got the door closed and your boss doesn't know that you're on Facebook, whatever. I'm not endorsing if you're supposed to not be, surfing on Facebook, but a lot of what I'm going to share is directed towards people that are in an office environment and giving you some motivation for, if you're feeling low, feeling like you're unhealthy, feeling like you want to lose weight, feeling like you want to build muscle and you don't know where to start and you're frustrated and you look at your environment and you're like, how can I do it? I work 80 hours a week. I travel all the time. I'm always at this office where people are bringing in donuts and, I just can't do it. How many of you have felt that way? I know because we get letters and emails from you guys all the time asking about this. I get pinged on Facebook all the time personally asking about this. And trust me, as somebody who has worked in that environment, now I own my own business. And yes, I work from home and I own a fitness business. That doesn't make fitness and getting healthy easy for me. Those of you that have known me for a while have known I've been really struggling to address major hormonal imbalance issues. But here's the deal. If you are in that corporate American environment, and again, for those of you that are watching, if you're a stay-at-home mom, if you're an entrepreneur that works from home, everything here will apply for you as well. It's just slightly different. I just want to share with you this Monday morning, look at that hair all over the place, tips that helped me when I made the commitment that I wanted to lose weight, also build some muscle, whatever. And I was working in a corporate environment where, I remember the days when I lived in Chicago and I would take the train downtown. So I would be leaving early in the morning and, you've got to factor in when you shower, when you drive to the train, then you park, then you wait for the train, then you're on the train, then you get to your office, and then you work a full day, right? And then you come home. So but really by the time you leave your house, sometimes that can end up being a 14-hour day, a 16-hour day. How many of you are dealing with that? That's a lot. And it's very easy to get into that mindset of, when in the world am I going to work out? And so number one, I'm going to give you a few tips that hopefully will, I know it should motivate you to know that you can fit in fitness regardless of your schedule and your work life. And you can fit in eating better, both of which you want to do with baby steps. I used to be so guilty, and I hope none of you are doing this, of thinking it had to be all or nothing. I had to do this major 180, right? Go from eating the way I was to eating nothing but chicken and broccoli and working out 90 minutes a day, never drinking, never having fun. How many of you have felt that way? If you felt that way, let me tell you, coming from experience, I believe for most of us, that's going to set you up for, I don't want to say disaster, but it's going to set you up for quitting early. If you set that bar too high, too extreme, too different from what you're used to, it's not gonna last. On the other hand, if you start taking baby steps and doing things and implementing practices in your life that you can do and that you can succeed at, like I talked about last week in some of my Facebook Lives here on the FitFluential Facebook page, if you do that, then you're gonna have success. Even little successes will propel you forward into more success. It's really pretty simple. I mean, I don't know why we haven't thought about this for a long time, but it seems very popular for there to be all these books out about these extreme transformations. And I remember one of my favorite books, which I still think is a great book, that got me into fitness was by Bill Phillips, Body for Life. But one of the things about that book, and it really depends on the reader, you can get into this mindset of, I have to do everything in this book. I can't go out of the lines. I can't make any exceptions. And for type A, overachiever, perfectionist types like me, then you can get into that mindset of you do one little thing, wrong. If you didn't do your 20-minute HIIT workout, or if you had deli meat for your sandwich as opposed to fresh, organic, roasted chicken, you think, oh my God, I've done everything wrong. And you give up. How many of you have done that? We've all done that. So that's why I have learned that baby steps in every way is the sustainable approach, something that's going to work for you long term. And I figured this out for myself over the past year when I had so much that was wrong with my health and my body, my thyroid. I had adrenal fatigue, I might be on the tail end of it, hormonal imbalance. My body just wasn't working right. So I had to make the choice to make a lot of changes, even when I couldn't see the difference in my body on the scale, whatever, when I was measuring it, So I had to have faith, but I chose to do a little bit, I chose to just add little things every single week. And the more that I added it and I saw, wow, I cut out, I remember back in the day when I first cut out Splenda, I was having, the little yellow packets all the time. And I'm like, how can I do that? I did it. Now I use stevia, Now Food stevia. It's my favorite, by the way. And I didn't think I could go paleo. And I went paleo. Hi, Ralph Roberts. I just saw you joined. And I did it. I did it because I went slow and I gradually got more paleo, if you will, and more paleo. And it just became easier and easier because I took baby steps. So let me come back and tie this back down for you. And let me give you some very simple, what I call corporate wellness tips that you can start to implement that I did. This is like 10, 12 years ago that I did when I worked downtown Chicago and I had to take the train. I had long days. By the time I got home from my job, I think I would get home from the train at 6:30. So then by the time I got in my car and got home, it was 7 o'clock. And I knew I had to be up at 5. That doesn't give me a huge window of time, right? So there's two things. How do you fit in eating better when you're at an office, or you travel a lot for your business? And how do you fit in fitness when you feel like you just don't have a lot of time to be working out, right? And by the way, I am having a good morning so far. Thank you so much. Back at you, by the way. So let's go first with food. You've heard it said, I hate that phrase actually, abs are made in the kitchen, but it's really just a premise, right? You do have to be careful and watch what you eat. And it's so easy. I have so been there when you are in offices, and am I right? It's always someone's birthday. Someone's always bringing in and telling you to bring in some cakes, cookies, whatever, for someone's birthday. My first job was at Hyatt. I worked at the Hyatt Regency O'Hare, and we had a coffee shop down in the lobby, and I think we were allowed to get free food. We also had a cafeteria, and so all the leftover buffet food that was served at weddings and at all these amazing events, all the desserts, all of the chicken Kiev with the butter oozing out of it, all of the muffins, all of the cakes. My stomach right now is going, what are you doing to me? We got that all for free. So I could literally go into this cabinet with a cornucopia of anything I wanted. Coffee, drinks, sugary drinks, you name it, it was all there. We all, I think, work in an environment where we're going to be exposed to snacks, treats, junk food all the time. Am I right? You're right. So you got to go into this knowing if you're going to start making steps towards getting healthy and changing your body and changing your future, you're going to have to deal with the mental stuff, okay? You're going to have to deal with the fact that those temptations are always going to be there. You kind of have to get over that part of it. But trust me when I tell you, when you start succeeding and you start feeling better and realizing you can do this, making better steps, making changes in your diet and what you eat, you will get less and less tempted, and you'll be more and more able to walk by all of that, because you just become very empowered. I mean, I have been on a very, very, very strict doctor supervised diet for the past 3 weeks. And I'm going to share everything and the background and why I'm on it and what I'm doing and how I'm coming off of it probably in the next 3 to 4 weeks on my blog, because I want people to understand why we had to go with this approach. But all that said, I have been around. I had a meeting with my assistant when I was in Chicago. I had to go to an amazing Now Foods event in Chicago where we were at this great dinner place, and everybody's drinking wine and having chocolate and these amazing appetizers, and there's me with plain grilled chicken and plain asparagus, no butter. And it was very easy. Everybody kept saying to me, they're like, I'm so sorry that I'm eating this in front of you. Once your mind gets in the place where you're doing this for you, it's maybe you're not going to only be eating, in my case, plain grilled chicken and plain asparagus for the rest of your life. You know that it's for a reason. You know that reason is important to you. It becomes easier and easier. And for me, it has not been an issue to be around other people, to see Instagram stories and stuff about sushi. You will become empowered and you will be able to walk past the temptation. So number one, just know that temptation at the office, or if you travel, it's always going to be there. Recognize it, expect it, and you will inevitably be able to overcome it. You got to believe that you're going to be able to do this. So what are some of the things that you can do to help yourself start to eat better? Number one, again, please don't start going into your week saying, okay, I'm not gonna, if you're regularly eating out and eating fast food, you're gonna go cold turkey, no fast food, no soda, whatever. Make simple changes. Maybe if you go out for fast food every day at lunch with your buddies, maybe you can just say, okay, instead of doing this, I'm gonna order what I always order, say it's Taco Bell or Wendy's or whatever, but I'm gonna not do any soda. Cut out the soda, just start with that and do water. And you might go, well, how's that? Trust me, the baby steps will make a difference. So that can be one step for you. What about all of these coffee drinks? You know what I'm drinking here? Okay, and this is temporary because I will be going back to my normal paleo approach. But right now I'm making my coffee with measured, and I'm gonna reference this in just a second. I use my Eat Smart scales. I've been using these for years. In fact, I pack this one, this really light one, in my suitcase when I travel, because measuring your food makes a huge difference. Don't think you can eyeball it. Sometimes eyeballing means you're giving yourself a lot less than you think you should. So right now, the way I make my coffee is this amazing coconut milk, and I measure 2 ounces, and I put my stevia, I blend it up in my NutriBullet, but I measure it. So you know what this coffee is, this coffee cup? is 12 calories of coffee, okay? I am measuring this. I'm not having, when I have my paleo bulletproof coffee, it's got a lot more healthy fats in it. That's one thing. But also, you guys, I'm a Starbucks fan, okay? I love all of the drinks, caramel macchiato, all of that stuff. I've heard about this unicorn thing. I have no idea what it is. You have to understand that typically at any like coffee shop like that, an average drink, I would say, especially those frozen ones, can be 600 to 800 calories. Here's a hint. If you go to a sandwich place, a fast food place, and you are not looking at what the calorie count, I don't know why I'm whispering like this, but if you're not looking at the calorie count and you think you're gonna order I'll give you an example at Arby's, which is one of my favorite fast food places. I'm gonna keep it real. They have market fresh sandwiches. And these are great, but you have to just be aware of calorie counts and macros, because if you start looking this stuff up, then you know I'm going through the Arby's drive-thru, and if I'm getting a large sweet tea and I'm getting one of these healthy sandwiches, you might think, oh, that's awesome. A lot of those healthy sandwiches can have 800 calories in them. So if you're having like a typical coffee, right, in the morning and a muffin, that could easily be 1,200 calories. If then you go to lunch and you get one of these sandwiches, again, not saying that they're bad for you. It's just if you're trying to lose weight, becoming aware of the calorie counts in foods is going to be one of your best tools. It means that you can say, okay, what would I rather have? Would I rather have my 800 calorie snack because I really love it, and then I'm gonna eat lighter at breakfast, maybe not have a huge 500 calorie muffin? Yeah, you can do that, you can make choices. But if you're not paying attention and you're having all of these snacks, and then you're gonna get to the end of the week and go, I don't understand. I'm eating better. I had the turkey sandwich. I had a bran muffin. I had all this stuff. Knowledge is power, people. This is where you have baby steps. So number one, start substituting in one area, just one area. Maybe it's your crazy coffee with all the whipped cream on it. Maybe you say that you're gonna go from a venti to a grande, and then the next week you go from a grande to a tall. That could be something that's a baby step for you. Don't go hardcore all at once. It's gonna set you up for, holy cow, my stomach is growling all day. Holy cow, I don't like this plain boring food. Don't do it. Pick one thing. Again, if you go out for Taco Bell every single day, maybe cut your soda, or maybe instead of having 4 tacos, you have 3. Just take baby steps, because the more that you have success, the more that you are going to feel empowered. The more that you feel empowered, the more that you're going to do more. And all of this stuff starts building momentum. Whereas, again, you go hardcore, you say, I'm going to have nothing but chicken breast and broccoli and water, you will literally probably fall flat on your face. It's happened to me. It's happened to too many people. Baby steps. What are some food things that you can do at the office and on the road that are also going to help you? Keep healthy stuff in your refrigerator, in the office refrigerator, at your desk, whatever it is. Because like I said before, you're always gonna have those temptations around you. Hey, Lauren Fisher, how are you? Some of the simplest things, again, this is a client of FitFluential, full disclosure. We love Vega. So many of our FitFluential ambassadors, this is one of our favorite companies. The reason I say it's one of our favorites is they have really clean ingredients in all of their shakes. And I remember when I tried it, I was like, this is some of the best tasting stuff ever. They now have RTD, which is ready to drink shakes. Why not grab some of these and keep them in your refrigerator at the office? Just so that you know, like one of these is 170 calories, 4.5 grams of fat, 14 carbs, 20 grams of protein. This is a really good thing. You could say, hey, instead of me having that 10 a.m. muffin, I'm gonna have this, and then you can still have your afternoon coffee. Just make reasonable swaps. I used to be a creamy and sugary coffee drinker. Took a couple months, but I'm down to a splash of skim milk. Dang gone, Lauren. That's all I got to say to you. Although I'm pretty damn proud that I'm doing this. Putting in 2 ounces of this, why can't I talk about it? Coconut milk. Sorry about that. Another thing, and this again is a client of FitFluential. These guys are based in Chicago, Factor 75. I cannot recommend these guys enough. These are all, well, you can pick your meals. These are organic, non-GMO. Most of them are non-dairy. I think you can choose meal plans that have dairy in them, but for me, because I'm normally paleo when I'm not on this temporary doctor supervised diet, paleo is my approach. And so for me, having these Factor 75 organic, non-GMO, all grass-fed meat, pastured eggs, I'm just going to put this out there too. The coconut date truffles will make you weep for your mother. They're the best things on the planet. This food is amazing. So now this I pulled out of my freezer because I went on vacation. So I put some of the stuff in my freezer. No preservatives, no any crazy chemicals. It's just food, and it's like your mama makes, but it's paleo. So for me, and I will tell you this is the meatloaf. You see some of the macros. This is some of the best stuff. I put it in the toaster oven, so it doesn't come frozen. It will ship to your door. You can order however many meals you want. There's no contracts. We also do have a coupon code that I will put down below for Factor 75, so I believe you can get a couple free meals with your first order. But this is fantastic. They also ship, for those of you that travel, and there's a lot of meal delivery services out there now. That's what's great. These guys can ship to you, as can many, when you're traveling on the road. So why not order in advance, have it shipped to your hotel? So many hotels have refrigerators in the room. Put it in the room, put it in the microwave down on the concierge level or whatever. There's ways that you can eat appropriately at the office, on the road. Keep some meal replacement bars or healthy bars. Find bars that you love. There's so many amazing protein bars and energy bars out there. Look at the ingredients to make sure it's in alignment with what your goals are and what your caloric needs are, but keep some healthy snacks. I mean, there's some obscenely great tasting stuff out there. Again, I'm referencing the Factor 75 coconut date truffles. I do have a little bit of an issue controlling myself with those. But, I think of like a lot of our people love Lara bars and Cliff bars, and there's Epic bars that are more on the savory side. So experiment, test out new bars, try things that you like, keep some fruit at the office. Let's dive into, while we're talking about, let me wrap up the food side, and then we're going to hit into some how you can fit in movement into your day, and then we'll wrap it up, and I'll see if you guys have any questions. But I referenced this a second ago, and I do want to bring this up again. Let me just show you my cornucopia of Eat Smart scales. See, I never let them go. So I have been using Eat Smart scales since years and years and years. And let me just say, if you've never measured your food or weighed your food, you are missing out on the opportunity to probably, in some cases, have a lot more. I know when I try to estimate things like avocado or guacamole, believe it or not, I underestimate the amount of avocado that I can have for the calorie. Like, you'd be surprised how much avocado you can have for a reasonable amount of calories and macros. But anyway, Eat Smart scales, these are ridiculously reasonable. I think their most expensive scale is $25. I packed, so this was one of the first ones I had. Can you see? I don't want it to get the glare. But these will measure in ounces, pounds, and grams, which is fantastic. And this one is a little heavier, so I don't pack this one. But I take this with me when I travel, because say you're in your hotel room, okay, and you order a steak or you order a grilled chicken breast. If you need to really watch, and trust me, you do, because most restaurants and even hotels are going to give you, like, for a woman, an 8-ounce steak or a 12-ounce steak. I remember one time I got a steak that was this big. I'm like, really? I mean, don't get me wrong, I wanted to eat it. But if you're trying to, get to a smaller size, if you're trying to build muscle and lean out, you got to be very specific about what you eat. You want to eat quality food and pay attention to the food that you're putting in your body, but let's get real. It also matters how much you eat. Sometimes we don't eat enough. There are a lot of us that can get too busy and not eat enough, and that's why you have to make sure you're getting enough. That's happened to me in the past. My trainer, Whitney, was always nudging me going, you need to make sure you eat your breakfast, eat your lunch, eat your dinner. Sometimes I would let the morning get away from me, and then I'd be adding up my macros on, I use MyFitnessPal. A lot of our people love MyFitnessPal. It's a great, great, great app. They are not a client, but I have to recommend them because pretty much everybody I know that uses MyFitnessPal loves them. You can scan barcodes from foods. You can enter restaurant food. It's a great way to track both your movement but also your macros. But quite often when I was on the road, I would get to 4 or 5 o'clock and I put in what I had eaten that day, and I was like, wow, it's 600 calories, and I was supposed to be at 1700. So then, you know, I'm trying to backload the latter part of the day and get my information, my nutrition in. Plan it out. Use something like MyFitnessPal. It's going to help you. But I highly, highly recommend Eat Smart Scales. Again, full disclosure, this is a client of FitFluential. You can get all of these on Amazon. We will link up to that below. And then we also have, I think, I'll have to check, but we do have some giveaways coming up with them on some of our Twitter chats. So pay attention to that as well. But again, that's something you can keep one of these at the office. So if you potentially have access, like I used to at my first job, to a cafeteria, you know, you can grab your vegetables, you can grab your salad, but you can measure the amount of protein you're getting. You could be getting too little, you could be getting too much. And pay attention. I was really surprised when I measured out avocado that I actually could have a lot more than I thought. Because sometimes if you just look up online, how much avocado can they have? And they'll say 1/4 of an avocado. And you're like, oh, 1/4. But it depends on how big your avocado is. So give yourself the generosity of measuring your food. It goes both ways. Lastly, how can we start to take baby steps and fit in fitness at the office, when we're on the road, when we're in the airport, and maybe we don't have workout clothes that we've packed? Say we travel a lot for business. I've been doing that for years, okay? There are things that you can start doing that will make a huge difference in your life. Trust me. One of the things, I kid you not, that I did when I first started working out, this was at my second job, when I had to take the train downtown to Chicago back and forth, and I had to make a lot of copies for my boss. I would sit at the copy machine and I would sit there and I'd make copies, and I don't know if you could see this, but I would do butt lifts like that, and I would think of all my bar workouts, and I was like doing this, and sure enough, somebody would walk in the office and go, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, I'm getting in shape. And of course, typically, those people who are looking at you like, you're a weirdo, what are you doing at the copy machine? Like, and I'm sitting there like this. Then you start to kind of feel badass, because you're like, guess what? I'm doing something about my body. I'm feeling better. My buns are feeling lifted and tight. This is awesome. And then other people are going to go, maybe I should do that. Because yes, I actually did see that guy come in later, and he was doing, side leg lifts. And then because they saw me also bringing my own food that I labeled, don't touch this, they started asking about how they could, tell me, how do you find out how many calories are in this? And back in the day, I remember using Dottie's Weight Loss Zone. You guys should look that up and see if that website is still live. It's probably still in Comic Sans. That was what the website text was way back. That's how I used to look up calories. This is like 10, 12, 15 years ago. So you can fit in things, whether you work in a group office, whether you have a private office, whether it's things like standing at the copy machine, making copies. There are things that you can do. And don't think, this is what I used to think, don't think that just because, if you're doing leg lifts like this, okay, you might go, well, I'm not really sweating and I'm not, burning calories. That's not going to do anything. That's baloney. You could also be standing at the counter. Okay, I'm not doing a full push-up, but you get the idea. You can do things like this. Start actually using your muscle. What if you're on a lot of conference calls during the day and you have to sit and listen? What's to stop you from putting your headset on and doing squats while you're, or holding squats? Look at that. I'm working my buns right now while I'm doing a Facebook Live. There's no reason that you can't do this. And again, you will start to feel like a really cool, badass kind of a person when other people see you doing it. And you're like, go ahead and stare. Watch me. Go ahead. I know you like what you see. Maybe that's just what I would do, but it's kind of fun. So number one, when you're in the office, you can squeeze in taking the long way around the office, doing stuff while you're on a call. Stand up more. The number one thing that you can start to do to help yourself, stand up more. Stop sitting all day. It will also probably dramatically improve any lower back pain you have. For me, I got massive and very sudden lower back pain. This was about 2 or 3 years ago. I switched to a standing desk, completely eradicated all back pain. No pills, no surgery, no hypnosis, no nothing. Just standing. Start standing more, start walking more, start doing little things. You could do something as simple as getting a little medicine ball. You know, there's all kinds of weighted balls that you can get at Target, at Walmart, whatever. Keep one of them in your office and then sit there and while you're talking to somebody, juggle it, move the ball back and forth, move it up and down, do bicep curls with. There's all kinds of things, and trust me, that will add up. You will start to feel better because you're using muscles instead of letting them become just lethargic and like. So you can fit in fitness. Stop taking the elevator. These are things that all of us have read about, but it adds up. And if you start doing this, you're going to start to feel better. You're going to start to have more energy. The more that you move, the more that you will want to eat better. All of these things will start to fuel each other. When you're in the airport, learn from me. Although this is probably the one thing that I don't do as well, because people that know me know I don't travel in like walking shoes, but you could pack walking shoes if you're, men can always walk in their shoes, but I'm always the one wearing high heels. But quite often you're going to get delayed in the airport, and that's a great way to do a lot of laps, do a lot of walking. Walking is fantastic. Take the stairs. Stop taking the elevator. Trust me when I tell you, I used to work on the 5th floor downtown, and every time I went up and down, instead of taking the elevator, I took the stairs. And when I would get into the office, I was a little out of breath, but all of my coworkers would go, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I took the stairs." And then guess what? My clothes were fitting looser. And all of these things added up. You will feel better. It creates mini successes every single day, and it's going to propel you to keep doing more. Trust me, if you just start incorporating these little baby steps, it changes your lifestyle without you even realizing. You're really changing your lifestyle, because instead of focusing on just getting through the day, you're looking at your day almost like, where can I do something different? It becomes like a treasure map, right? Like, where can I fit in fitness? Where can I do something different with what I'm eating? How can I conquer? How can I, create more areas where I'm conquering and eating better and making better choices? It really does. Some of these things you're probably going to feel a little uncomfortable about, but guess what? Would you rather feel uncomfortable and look and feel awesome, or be comfortable and look and feel like crap? You be the judge. So, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm in my workout clothes. I'm going to get my amazing workout done this morning. I am fortunate enough to work from home, so I, don't think that I don't understand. A lot of you can't just choose when you have your workout. You might have to either really do it before work, or do it on your lunch break, or do it when you get home. We'll have tips for folks like you, and for how you fit in a workout when you have a busy travel schedule. How do you squeeze it in? Does it have to be half an hour? Does it have to be 45 minutes? The answer is no. And there's ways that you can do it. Even if you're on a trip, you've got a busy convention, you've got to do a lot of entertaining for your clients, there's ways that you can fit in fitness. Make it maximum as far as the effect, and still fit in everything you need to in your workday. So hopefully some of these tips were helpful for you. If you have any questions, please leave them for us down below. As I mentioned before, if you're watching this on the replay, let us know where you're from, what questions you have, what you'd like to see us cover here. We're going to start having a lot of our FitFluential ambassadors as hosts on our Facebook Live starting probably next week. So get ready. It won't just be this phase anymore. But you guys have a great, great, great rest of the day. It is Monday. Make it count. Take some baby steps. And you know what else I'd love to see? I'd love to see you come back and say, here's the baby steps I took today. Because guess what? If you've already left, if you're already at the office, don't think that you can't take baby steps. You can still make your choice for your coffee break. You can still make your choice for your lunch. You can still make your choice for happy hour tonight. You can still make your choice at the airport. Don't make excuses. You deserve better. So have a great day. We will see you here tomorrow. Take care.